Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Motivation, the show where we help you align your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul to become the best version of yourself. I hope that the first habit has been implemented, and those that have missed it, please catch our YouTube channel where you'll be able to see last week's program about the butterfly effect and how something so small can create something so massive. And I hope that you are now taking account of what you are doing in your life, and you are holding yourself accountable for what's going on in your life, because it is those small little moments that add up to create this big character that we have within ourselves. So if you want to learn how to change it, catch our previous episode about the butterfly effect and learn how to change those little small habits inside of you that can truly shape you into a great individual. Habit number 2. Most people search for what is easy. The giants, however, they search for a challenge. What does that mean? We've all heard it before. We've all spoken about it. We've seen memes about it. We've seen theories about it. It's called the comfort zone. And what is the comfort zone? The comfort zone is like a rose that was picked and put into a vase. And it stays there and it's beautiful for a week, 2 weeks if you really look after it. But eventually, it dies. And that, unfortunately, is the comfort zone. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. However, there is a rose in the rose bush outside in the garden that grows, weathers all of the storms, breaks, dies, but grows again into a more beautiful rose, and then breaks and dies and grows again into an even more beautiful rose. And then roses around it start growing, because no matter how difficult it was, it moved out of the comfort zone into the growth zone. And sometimes, if we just look around us, nature can teach us everything that we need to know. So that rose sitting in the vase might look beautiful on the table for a short period of time, but make no mistake, discomfort will catch up. And the one outside in the garden that looks uncomfortable, make no mistake, comfort and growth will catch up. So ask yourself, are you in a comfort zone? Are you in a fear zone? Are you in a growth zone? And I want to explain it all to you so that you can become that giant that is searching for a challenge, that giant that wants to change everything inside of them because they want to grow. And we as believers, we belong in the growth zone. We as believers need to understand that the growth zone is where our iman grows. The growth zone is where our belief grows. The growth zone is where we as individuals grow. But it takes a lot of pain and it takes a lot of discomfort to get us there, because growth cannot happen unless you are in a state of discomfort. But what does that mean? That we should only be uncomfortable? No. When we are in that growth zone, it is so beautiful to look for opportunities to be patient. It is so beautiful because when you see that opportunity to be patient, you understand that in that pain is a purpose. And when that purpose is found, this is where we grow as individuals. This is where we grow and our soul becomes stronger. In the gym world, we often talk about resistance training. And in order for your muscles to become resilient and stronger, you have to add more resistance. And if you do not add more resistance, the muscle will never grow. And that is the perfect analogy for life. Resistance creates strength. Pain and discomfort build muscle. But it is that muscle and that strength that will allow you to look at this world from a different perspective, that will allow you to grow as an individual, that will allow you to understand that pain is part of the process. We sit in our comfort zones and we think to ourselves, this is it. My today mirrors out my yesterday, and my tomorrow will mirror my today, and life will just roll by like a tumbleweed. But there's always that burning desire in us to do more, to be more, to find more, to learn more, to grow more. But the reality is, we do not want to step out of that comfort zone and say, bring it on. I'm ready to grow. Why do we do this to ourselves? We spoke about the butterfly effect last week and the importance of a butterfly flapping its wings. But let's take it one step before that, where there was this beautiful little caterpillar, and he was roaming around in the garden, knowing that his food was taken care of. The grass was green, the leaves were beautiful, and he had a pretty good life. But he thought to himself, in his little heart, that I am supposed to be something more than this. So he decided to go into a little cocoon and close himself up in there. And he stepped out of his comfort zone and went into the fear zone. Because in that moment of darkness, he understood that there was a possibility that a spider could come and take him, that the wind could blow him off, that anything could happen in that fear zone. So his little heart was probably beating really fast in that moment. And he thought to himself, I know I need to go through this to become the butterfly that I was supposed to be. So when that little cocoon breaks open and the light comes out from the top, and this little caterpillar starts pushing himself out, it squeezes him and it presses him, almost as if his eyes are going to pop. And if you as an individual were to see this, you would want to cut the cocoon open to help him, because you don't want to see him suffer like that. But if you were to cut that cocoon open and make it easy for him, that little caterpillar would fall to the floor, because the wings of the butterfly would not have been fully formed. But instead, it needs to go through the pain of the juices being pressed when he is being squeezed, but the juices pressed into the wings of this butterfly. The juices pressed so that the nutrients can get into the wings and it can create enough strength for the wings of that butterfly to break the cocoon open. So do you see how nature can teach us that even within that pain is growth? And when that butterfly flaps its wings, as we spoke about last week, it creates a wind underneath that can create a hurricane on the other end of the world. So your pain has a purpose. And we just need to look within that pain to understand our purpose. Because Allah said in the Quran, with difficulty comes ease. So within that difficulty, there is ease. We just need to look for it. And we need to understand that when we put ourselves in these difficult situations, or if life puts us in difficult situations, what are we doing about it? What are we learning from it? How are we changing all of this? And how are we using it to take us out of the comfort zone and put us into the growth zone? Take us out of that comfort zone and put us where we belong as believers. Because most people search for what is easy. But we do not want to be like most people. We want to be like the giants of this world, the giants of our ummah, the giants of Islam. We want to be giants. So most people search for what is easy, but the giants search for a challenge. And I want to leave you with something that Kopmeyer had written about when he spoke about the 1,000 rules of success. He said, in order for you to become successful, you have to implement this one rule. Do what you have to do, when you have to do it, whether you feel like it or not. And that is stepping out of your comfort zone. That is doing what you have to do, even if you are not in the mood of doing it. So go out there, step into your growth zone. Even if it's through a short period of the fear zone, it will be a very short period. But step out of the comfort zone and become the best version of yourself, because you were put onto this earth for a reason. You go out there and you find your reason, and you live to the best of the gifts that Allah has given you. This is motivation, and let me motivate you.